Yes.
Hold on there. Should I do this now? Well, afterwards. I want to say a special thank you for a basket I got. I'm going to tell you about the basket. This morning, the lead story in the news is worthy of a discussion related to the substance of the story. That of murders down 43%. We hear it so often month after month that we are, well, we hear some murders down 48%. Still, you know, it's become background noise. And I wonder how my colleagues in the media who have a library of material which they've produced, bashing the police over the heads over the past several years, and justifiably so, for murders continuing to run fast and strong and continuing to rise. I'm wondering how they feel now. And you may say, well, why would somebody put it like that? Why would you expect somebody to feel a negative way about the fall in murders based on how you put it, George? And I'll say it this way, that there was almost a kind of zealotry, glee, reporting that murders continue to rise. And then you would have the lectures, especially in the newspaper, about how crime ought to be controlled, how crime ought to be tackled, what the police should do, and what a police commissioner should do. Gleeful. Yeah? Example after example, lecture after lecture, talking down. And as I said, much of it was warranted because the police weren't getting it right. But now that for several months now, the story has been different. I could understand also the first few months where the doom and gloom purveyors would say, sure, just a blip. We'll revert to type. We'll get back to normal in short order. But almost 12 months on from January, and normal don't come yet. So I could understand them being skeptical initially. I could understand them being skeptical at the 6-month mark, maybe even at the 9-month mark. But come on, we're almost 12 months in. And if you can't bring yourself not to break out the confetti and congratulate, but to acknowledge without water in your mouth, that's what's been happening from the perspective of the policy direction that the JCF is under, the operational leadership at the JCF, the way citizens have come back to the party, having abandoned the JCF for so many years because we used to play music every day. We tell people, say, Inform for dead, and people believed it. If we can't acknowledge the progress that has been made, then something is wrong with us, and gives rise to my characterization of those who gleefully and zealously bash the police for high crime, high murder. It gives me reason to say that you appear to be bad faith actors. Listen, from 1962 forward, we've had maybe 15, 16 police commissioners. Nobody excepting Francis Forbes served over 4 years. Forbes served for 9 years. He left in 2005. Ellington retired after 4 years, Owen Ellington. But around them, men with strong reputations collapsed under the weight of leading this JCF. Failed miserably. And when we say they failed miserably, we have to ask, the success that Anthony Anderson and Kevin Blake have had, is it because they are extraordinary human beings? Are they supermen in disguise? Are they supermen in real terms, who are wearing a police uniform to hide the fact that they're supermen? Or is it that a series of things have come together to give them they have to afford them the ability and to build capacity of the force that they lead, so that we can see the numbers we are seeing now consistently month after month. The truth, of course, is never unitary. It's never one thing above everything else. Part and part. No doubt, Anderson, his approach, very considered approach, took a lot of flack for the states of public emergency that he asked for and was given by the government. Blake has ensured that no gain was made. That takes skill, takes intelligence. Anderson was a man who the JCF appeared to work for, not work against, not Police Federation, not any faction. Even though we all remember the Police Federation chairman and his posturing. That was purely political, as we now know. And then Dr. Kevin Blake has the force singing in unison, not a rogue singer in the choir. Everybody eyes fixed on the hymnal in front of them and belting out the tune that needs to be heard by the country. Anderson, December 2020. Never forget, press conference called. Well, not a press conference, a statement he gave to the media where he said that he will not resign as police commissioner because he was under pressure to resign because murders weren't coming down fast enough. Between January and November 2019, murders fell by 1.3%. The critics said that wasn't good enough. Get him out, get rid of him. So if Kevin Blake is presiding over murders 43% down from January to a period in December, to a time in December, those same ones who said 1.3 reduction wasn't good enough and that Anderson had to go, he had to walk the plank. What's the date, time and venue for your coronation of Kevin Blake as king then? Because he has presided over 43% down in a longer period of time than Anderson, according to your narrative, failed at. And of course, Anderson didn't fail. And those who say the set piece, the composite of factors, the states of emergency, the remuneration for the police personnel, just a different vibe and feel to being a policeman or woman, that all those things haven't contributed. So when those who say at the height of politics, government deserve no credit for crime going down, I've never heard a more dunce statement in my life. And why that was dunce and dangerous, because those who were feeding it to the minions, feeding it to the idiots, people who shouldn't have found themselves in a wet paper bag much less, but then again can't reason themselves out of a wet paper bag. A sensible people were telling you all to think that way and to say those things. Now we have the murders going in the right direction, major crime going in the right direction. Where are the articles saying that Kevin Blake is man of the year and the JCF is the organization of the year? I don't see that, which is why I'm saying when things were bad and you were justifiably calling it out for being bad, doing your duty, calling it as you saw it, how you're not calling it as you see it now, which is why we're not waiting on you to do so. For us, Kevin Blake has been one of the most influential gentlemen or people in Jamaica in 2025, no doubt. And the JCF, the organization he leads, is right there with him, right at his shoulder. We're not waiting on you to lionize those who do well. We're doing that. Yeah? And I'm saying this morning, just look at the list of reputations that have been chewed up by the work of taming crime in Jamaica. And it's only 1 year. But 480 fewer people that did that could have my brother, my father, my mother, my sister, my wife, my woman, my somebody could be connected to me. 480 is not an insignificant number, and they're on track to record sub 700 for the calendar year. Never in my lifetime, never in my lifetime have homicides been at this level in this country. But somehow no. But no, I want to still fight politics same way, months after September 3.